going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to install some splitters. If you take a look behind me, you're going to see that the car is in pieces. I am doing a lot of things to it, one of which is rewiring. If you've ever done rewiring, you know that it takes a lot of patience and you gotta be able to test your connections. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about that right now. Today we're gonna talk about installing some VICREZ splitters. If you remember, in the past I already had some splitters. Unfortunately, I went over an embankment and it ruined the splitters that I had. And I found these on Black Friday and I got a decent deal, so stick with me and let's get this done today. Okay, here's the splitter that I'm gonna put on the driver's side. Now this kit came with a bunch of self-tapping screws, which will work perfectly fine for this. However, I don't wanna use self-tapping screws. What I'm going to do is drill a hole in them, and I'm going to use these just because I wanna be able to take them off and put them back on whenever I want. The self-tapping screws will work fine, but this is what I'm gonna take a look. The car is already up. Don't judge me on how I have it lifted, but it's lifted. This is so that I can rewire the entire sound system that I have, and also so I can do this, install these splitters. So hang tight. So just in case you haven't been able to see underneath the car, these are the side skirts right here that come stock on the car. Now, the splitters are not very wide. Some of y'all are probably going to have help, and I do not have any help, so I'm gonna have to figure this thing out by myself. Okay, since these splitters are not very wide, I need to find somewhere to start a mark that I can follow all the way down, and it's gonna be about right here, I believe, or maybe it's right here. I'll put it up right now in a minute so you guys can see. But what I'm gonna do is mark it here, measure the distance from here to here with my tape measure, and then I'm gonna go all the way down every few inches, or maybe every 6 inches or every foot or so. And I'm gonna put a mark where I need to drill so that I can drill and keep going all the way across. I'm going to do, and remember, I'm doing this by myself, so if you have friends that can help you, awesome. But I'm doing this by myself. So I had to hold it up and look from the top and the bottom to see where it is that I wanted it. And I'm gonna use the center of that screw right there as I went and marked it. Right here, right here, I think right there, all the way across, okay? Now I can go and start my hole. So here's one hole. Here's one I already did, and I already slid in the clip. So I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. You want that side that pops out to be on the inside. Ah, scheiße. Hold on. Okay, it's going in, but I need to put the phone. Now, if you're having a hard time sliding the clip in, it's either because the hole is not big enough, or you just need to grab some pliers so you can grab it with the pliers and then, you know, jam it in there or whatever. Now, after these holes are done, these up here, I need to come back and drill a small hole right in the center of that so that the bolt can go in there, screw, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to do this all the way across. I need to come back and do this one, and then we'll be able to continue. So what I mean by using some pliers to grab this. That already fell out. No. Whoa. Well, this is not good. This thing broke. Cheap, I guess. Let's make this hole a little bit better. There he goes. Okay. So I got all the clips on. Now I need to make the holes. This took me a good 10 minutes because some of them were just a pain in the butt. I had to use a flathead and some pliers for some of them to actually go in. Let's go to the next step. Okay, so looking at these and looking at them here will tell you more or less where you need to drill to make that hole for the bolt to go in. So here we go. Let's try this one over here because I'm trying to do this with one hand. There we go. Got the middle. Now you can grab a screw. Oh, sorry about all the movement, guys. And screw it in. All right. I'm probably gonna have to. The hole might not be big enough, but all you gotta do is grab your drill. There we go. All right. So, where is it? All right. So now I got to do that to all of them. So with the kit, I would be left over with 3 of these, and I used the rest. But one of them broke. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I got all the holes now. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to get the splitter so that I can make the first hole. I need to figure that out. So once I figure it out, I'm gonna show you guys. What I'm gonna do here, this is getting in the way of the splitter, so I'm gonna use these to just nip this off, doop doop, from there and from the bottom. Let's see if I can do it while you're on the phone. One-handed, bitches. All right, this is gonna be hard because you gotta have some kind of leverage. Neither is making the holes. Well, I will say this though. Using the self-tap would probably be a lot faster and easier. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I mean, look how close it is to the edge here. Here. Gotta pay attention to that. Alright, I'm gonna try and do this with you guys watching here. Okay. So I know if I put this flush against this thing here, I'm gonna be about, for the center of this, right about a little bit more over here. Okay. Now if I do this, hold on. I need to decide how far I want it. And actually, that's probably gonna be perfect right there. Maybe right there where X marks the spot. Just make the hole there and boom, I'm good to go. Then I can continue with the rest. Let's put this down, make the hole on the, I'm gonna make the hole here on the splitter and go from there. Okay, I made the first hole. I have the bolt on there already. Now I can put it up against the car, the bottom of the car, side skirt, and screw it in. We'll go from there. I'm gonna show you in a sec. All right, so here's the first splitter. Now it's not all bolted down. I'm using this box and this drill to hold it up just so I can see. I have one screw in, bolt, screw, whatever you want to call it, right here. Okay. So obviously this is not going to be tilted up like this. It's going to be a little bit down once I'm all done. Maybe it's going to have a little slight angle up, but it is what it is. Okay, let's see if I can do the next one while you guys are still there. So here is the center, okay? Maybe around there somewhere. So you guys get the gist all the way down. There it is. One of the splitters is installed. Now you notice right here, there's not a lot. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't want a lot. Because with my kids, whenever they got out and got into the car, on the previous splitters, which stuck out about to here, they kept stepping on them, smacking them. So that rubber guard, it would fall off, start to peel off. And they even dented one of them by stepping on it when they came out of the car. This, you're not gonna hit as much. I do have the rubber guard for this that I'm gonna put on, and I'll show in a second. And you notice it is kind of sticking up a little bit, like angled up like this, not that much. But the reason is, these things are not very wide, and you have to get as close as you can. I mean, could this have came out more? Yeah, I could have gotten easily another inch out of this and stuck it out more. Do I want it like that? No. I want subtle. I mean, besides, the flares are in the back and the front anyways, so hold tight. All right, so what I did was I have some water and alcohol mix. I sprayed it onto a rag and I went and I cleaned all of this. You don't want any debris on here because then this rubber guard will not stick on there and stay there. So make sure you clean that. That is a very important step. Okay, so I put the white rubber guard, and I have to comment on the 3M tape that it has on the back of it. The 3M tape on the back of this rubber guard is excellent. This stuff is on here very, very well. Now, the only way this is going to come off again is if my kids start kicking this again, and which is very possible, but what can you do about it? They're your kids, you love them. It is what it is. Yeah, that white rubber guard is very, very good. I couldn't find any aftermarket rubber guard that would fit this, so I recommend that you do order the rubber guard that VICREZ sells along with the splitters. Highly recommend it. You're gonna regret it if not. This is the biggest rubber guard I found, and since I'm always smacking into cars and my wife's car and bikes, boxes here that I have in garage, I actually put this on. I know it looks ugly. This one looks great though. All right, now on to the passenger side. And here we are on the passenger side. Okay, made all the holes and put the clips in. Now I need to make the holes for the clips. I just wanted to say, okay, I wanted these because I felt they would be easier to maintain the holes if I have to remove the splitter and put it back on. But I'm gonna say this, these things are a pain in the ass, and I broke about 5 or 6 of them. So with that said, it might be a lot easier just to stick with the self-tapping screws that VICREZ sent you. Plus it's gonna be cheaper, you won't have to pay any more for other parts. So again, I think it's going to be easier just to use the self-tapping screws that come with the VICREZ splitters. We have the other side going on. It's looking okay. Being held by this right now. And one bolt at the end. This last one, I had to switch the bolt to something else because the one that it came with was not long enough. So, again, I recommend you use the ones that came with the splitter. Passenger side is done. I also recommend that you purchase the rubber lining from VICREZ. I could not find anything that was would fit there properly, but the VICREZ ones, wow, they really look good and they're sticking on very well. The 3M tape is good. I'm done installing these side splitters. Let's do a quick recap. Okay, so I did this by myself. The car was already lifted, so I'm not gonna count the time that it takes. Well, actually, I'll throw that in there. So by yourself, using the screws and the clips that I use, which again I'm not going to recommend. It's gonna take you about 45 minutes to an hour because you got to get the car up, whether it's just one side or both sides like I did or whatever. So let's say it takes about an hour if you're doing it by yourself, which, you know, it's better to do it with somebody if you can, given that we have a pandemic still. That's not feasible for many people. Anyways, buy the rubber guard from VICREZ because I could not find any that would fit this right. And the 3M tape that these splitters came with, it is good, it's working great. But again, I cleaned it with alcohol and water and let it dry for about 2-3 minutes, and then I slapped it on there. I think it came out great. So if you do this by yourself, or let's say you're gonna do this with help, you're probably looking closer to about 35 minutes if somebody helps you out. Maybe 40 with checking the car up and all of that stuff, depending on what kind of setup you have at home. Also, thank you VICREZ for the great parts. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'm gonna have another install video soon. Well, I still haven't even started it, but I'm making another one. Cheers.
She calls me day and night. I'm sorry, girl, you just